Maybe we'll start with the sort of structure of the show. I've been telling folks that Ansel Adams is the backbone of this exhibition, but it's not just a sort of chronological romp through his life. It's a little bit different. Could you talk about the structure?
Yes, I'd love to, and thanks so much. It's really nice to be here. So when thinking about how to organize this show, because I had already years before done a chronological survey of Ansel Adams' career, it really seemed to me that it'd be a lot more interesting to look at Ansel Adams as insofar as his lineage and his legacy, sort of look back at the artists who influenced him and who he credited with having been very important to him, and look at his legacy, look to the contemporary artists who still feel that they need to sort of grapple with his influence even today. We had also recently acquired more than 450 Ansel Adamses from the Lane collection. And so we were celebrating the fact and cataloging them and looking at them. This is about 2 years ago. And I suddenly realized that they really spoke to me in an entirely new way. And I began to see all kinds of different themes in them and sort of interesting jumping off points, many of them having to do with the environment and our concerns about global warming, et cetera. And so I suddenly was seeing Ansel Adams in a new light.
You know, there are 24 contemporary artists that are in this show, and they come from a variety of different backgrounds, and the way that they approach their work is vastly different. And I wonder if you could talk about the decision to choose those 24 artists, and if there are criteria that you are looking for, or could you just talk about that?
So I tried to be very strict about quite a direct connection back to Adams, either to a place that he worked, a theme that he was very committed to, whether it's water rights, mining, land preservation, of course, things like the national parks and preservation of the wilderness, et cetera. Forest fires, all of these things felt incredibly topical and timely at that moment. Really, I think Ansel Adams, more than any other photographer, because of his stature, because of his fame, is that artist that photographers working in these spaces today really feel the need to continue to grapple with, to feel his influence, to react to what he stood for, to respond to it, not always entirely positively. And I wanted to show a whole range of that response. I wanted to show the sense of urgency that so many of these artists, it seems to me, feel about our environment, the same concerns for these places and for our future, our environmental safety. And I think that the challenge was for me, how to narrow it down.
Ansel Adams is often thought of as almost being a timeless sort of figure. His images almost seem timeless sometimes. And so I wonder, as the title suggests, why should we be thinking about Ansel Adams in our time?
We really don't want to consider this artist as sort of suspended in amber and not changing. He really, I think, is such a major figure and someone that really deserves to be considered in this new moment. I think with each presentation of this exhibition, I am really excited by the ways that we can continue to bring the conversation about Adams and his work and about his concerns for the planet, for the environment, for the wilderness spaces forward, and add to those voices, add to his voice, the voices of artists working today. Because I think in our time today, they still resonate. He still resonates. His message still resonates and inspires us even today.
Absolutely. I think that's beautifully stated. Thank you, Karen, for your time and for all your wisdom.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This is really a treat.